Hello ladies, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. This morning for our Stampin' Chat, I thought I would just share the new Stampin' Blends a little bit and also talk about the project kit that they've put out while supplies last, and then also the Color Me Happy stamp set that coordinates with that project kit that you can buy separately. So let's talk about these fabulous new alcohol markers. We call them blends, so that when you use them, I have to open everything up, it's all still very new to me. When you use them and you overlap your colors or you layer on your colors, unlike our regular water-based markers where you might end up with a line where the two pieces match up, the blends don't leave you a line. So they're nice and smooth. Just like our other markers, there are two tips. There's a brush tip and there's a fine point tip. And the blends come in separate. You can buy them separately for $4.50 each, or you can buy them as a set. So this is the light pink pirouette and this is the dark pink pirouette. Okay, so they also come in a variety of our Stampin' Up colors. I have a whole basket here that I haven't opened yet, because of course I have them all. But there's Cherry Cobbler, this one is Rich Raspberry. So there's dark and light shades. And then we also have some earth tones, skin tones, so that if you want to do people, you can do that as well. So let's just share a little bit about this one. Like I said, I'm opening everything as we go. So the Stampin' Blends are available now. I know some of us really liked the blendabilities a few years ago, and then unfortunately there was a design flaw, but now they're back. And as usual, Stampin' Up stands behind their product 100%. So this is our little brochure. You can see all the colors here that we can get for these right now. And of course they all coordinate with our existing colors. And then here is the project kit that you can order. The project kit is $25, and if you buy the clear stamp set that coordinates with that, it's another $19. So this is a quick and easy way to do some fun new cards. You get to do 16 cards, 4 of each design, with some fun embellishments. And it's a good way that you could, if you've got a few of the blend colors, you could practice using them, see if you really like them, and go from there. Alright, so here is our project kit. So when your project kit comes, everything is packaged together. So let me open up the packaging. You also get an instruction book that Stampin' Up puts out. So there's my cover, and it tells you how to do each card step by step and gives you a picture of the finished product. Okay, so there's really no worries as far as how am I going to know how to put it together, you know, what product do I use. They take you through step by step. Now, of course, I always say it's your card, you can make it your way. So if you decide you get these supplies and you make one the way they've suggested, you of course can use them any way you want. So let's see, there's some fun sequins, stars, and circles. Those look like maybe Rich Raspberry. Some teeny tiny tassels. We've got some gold foil tape. You have envelopes that are ready to go for your finished card projects. Let's see, I'm going to do this pink one this morning. So I'm going to need an envelope. Then you've got gold foil embellishments, some paper for stamping on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need that piece. You've got these fun lanterns that are already die cut, so you can pop those up on dimensionals to add them to the card for that. Tags. So now here are your card bases. So it's like designer series paper, and it's pre-scored, so it's easy to fold, ready to go. And let's see, the one I'm going to need today is this dark one. Looks like maybe a Rich Raspberry color. Need a diagonal thing. I'm going to need one of the banners. And as you can see, okay, the card, it makes 4 kits, but they've given you 6 banners. So you've got some extras in case it doesn't go quite as smoothly as you hope. Okay, more embellishments here. There's some fun, this is the background here. Let me pop one out. It's a little hard to see in that big piece, but it's a banner in that fun paper. Isn't that kind of neat? So a lot of this prep work that I usually do for you in our Pampered Stamper projects or our Stamp Together projects is done by Stampin' Up, and when you get it in the mail, you're ready to go. You need to add some adhesive so you can put your project together, and you need to have Memento ink, because you have to use Memento ink with our alcohol-based markers. Our water-based ink will smudge and run. The alcohol does not mix well. So I'm going to start by re-inking my Memento. Memento is also a great black as far as giving you a nice, ooh, that came out really fast, a nice, clean image. I'm going to try to spread that around. Yikes, that was a lot of ink. That might cause me a little trouble. Let me see. I may have to switch ink pads. Let this one dry out a little bit. Let's see. Well, just like in your craft rooms, right? Things happen on the fly. Adjust. Make the best of it. Let's see how this goes. Alright, so, like I said, we're going to try to make this card here, I don't know if you can see it, this card here, it's got a diagonal piece. We're going to stamp the flowers and a banner and then put it all together. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and follow the instructions for Stampin' Up so you can see that you can follow them too. So it says, the So Happy For You card. Okay, first it wants us to stamp the flowers on the white angled cardstock and the sentiment on the pink pirouette banner in Memento ink. Okay, so here are my stamp set that coordinates. I'm going to need the flower, pull that out, and this little expression, so happy for you. So peel off those and mount them on my blocks. Backing on the stamps when you use them for the first time. Alright, now I'm going to stamp on my scrap pad first with this ink to make sure it's not going to be too wet. Nope, it's going to be great. Alright, so going to just stamp, I'm going to stamp following that diagonal shape with my flowers. So I'm just going to come down. I am going to stamp with active edging though, so that, you know, it looks like we had a piece of Designer Series paper and we cut through it. Let's see, I'll put them right here. And you can put them as close or as far apart as you want, but I really want to use those blends a lot, so I'm going to put those in there pretty tight. Okay, so there's that. Let's set that aside for a second, and I'm going to do my banner. So, look this one up. Make sure I'm holding it the right way, yep. Okay, and I'm going to aim for this right kind of in the middle. There we go. Okay, so my stamping is done. Alright, that was step one. Now it says color the images using our Stampin Blends. Alright, so I've got dark and light pink pirouette because that coordinates with the banner, and it'll coordinate nicely with the rich raspberry piece. Now, one of the things with our Stampin Blends is they are alcohol-based markers, so if you leave them open or don't close them tightly, they're going to dry out on you, so you don't want to do that. I'm going to start with the lighter pink pirouette, and I'm going to use paintbrush tips. So that came off pretty nicely. I don't know if you can see down the barrel, but there's a circle cap inside of the lid that when you put this back in, you want to make sure you line that up and snap it on nice and tight. Okay, so pretty easy to open and close, but make sure they get on there nice and tight. So I'm going to start with my lighter shade. Now I'm going to do them a little bit differently as I go, just as I talk, but you'll find how you like them best. So now I'm going to stamp, I'm going to color this in, and this is really pretty light. That's alright. So I'm coloring in my flower. You can go right over the black lines. I guess out of habit I'm not, because I'm used to the other markers we've had for so long. But as you can see, I can go right over all the lines, and I'm not going to pick up any of that black ink. I mean, do let your black ink dry a little bit before you start in with your blends. You know, 30 seconds to a minute is usually, mine was very wet, so a little bit longer for mine. Probably this morning but then you really can just go right over the image. And then if it's not dark enough, you can go back and add more layers of the same color to add shade. Now, this pink is probably a little hard to see that it is adding some color to those areas, but it is. So now if I close that up and I bring in my darker, now as I go over, you can probably see that this is adding a darker color, and I'm just picking up where the stamp has already created that outline for me, so I know where to shade. And if you prefer to use the fine tip end to get into those tiny spaces, you can do that as well. I'm also going to color the inside of the center of the flower here with the darker one. Okay, and then I can go back and add a little more shading if I want to. Alright, so let me go ahead and do the three that are on this edge. I don't have to finish all of the flowers necessarily on the video with you and be able to put the card together. So this time I'm coming in with the darker one first, and I'm actually going to outline all the stamp lines, I think. Sometimes this is a nice way to add some shading without having to think about lighting or angles. You can just outline first, and then you can come in with the lighter one, and because they're blends, they're not going to pull the color like our blender pens would pull the color. The blends just go right over the top and shade in. I can come back over and add some more shading if I want. Okay, and if you notice, this one I just did and it's kind of wet and dark. This one is drying already, and you can see how when they dry, it actually makes the color kind of glow. That's one of the things I really liked about these when we offered them before, is that as they dry, specifically when you use it on Whisper white paper, it really starts to glow almost through the paper. It really makes it like a highlighted image. So, alright, so this last one, I have the lighter color still in my hand. I'm just going to go right over it, willy-nilly. See, I'm not being careful at all. And just color, color, color. I am trying to stay inside the line, but I'm not worried if I go outside. It's alright. So, just color, color, color. So you can take your time and do this slowly, or you can say, hey, I need to get, 16 cards out in the mail at the end of the day, so sit down, make them all, and you are good to go. I know, some of you are very detail oriented. You like to be very specific where you place your ink and how you fill it in, and some of you, I know, prefer to just make the craft, get it done, and say, I did that. So, the blends are definitely a product for both ends of that spectrum. Okay, so that's the lighter one. Close that up. You can hear those snaps every time I do it, right? Alright, so just come in and add a little more shading. I tend to use the paintbrush tip. I always have, even with our other markers. I find it more comfortable than the tiny fine point. I kind of get frustrated that, you have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. However, the fine tip on these markers isn't so teeny tiny. So it fills in more of the space. So I have a feeling I'll probably end up using it a tad bit more. I'm going to color these centers in dark. And we have some great other products. We have a great designer series paper that's all black and white with images you can color. So this would be a great product to use with that. as well. Plus any of our outline images. You know, we have hordes of outline images. Alright, so I said I wasn't going to color them all in, but I ended up doing it anyways, just because I really like coloring. So, it's one of the things. You know, they say, oh, what did you really enjoy as a child? What did you find yourself doing a lot? Well, I would sit down with my box of 64 Crayola crayons and color, and color, and color. I wasn't a drawer, I wouldn't draw my own images, but you give me a coloring book and I was good for hours. So, not surprising that I ended up doing Stampin' Up, and I really like to color still. Alright, so we've done our coloring images. Now it says adhere the gold tape on the diagonal so it's layered behind the stamped cardstock. Alright, so I just folded that card base. Let me see if I can get this gold tape open. So this is like gold washi tape. Washi tape is very forgiving. You can put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, replace it, position it. In the Cheers to the Year suite in our holiday bundle, there is great metallic washi tape in multiple colors that I'm finding I use a lot. Okay, this is giving me a little bit of angst because I can't get the end started, but I will get it. I am determined. Okay, we got it. So, oh, this is not washi tape. I misspoke. This is gold foil tape. It's got a backing on it. So, the card, if I bring the picture back to look at it, goes just inside to down here. Now, I find that hard. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to put this piece on first, because then that's going to guide me as to where my tape needs to go. So, and I just noticed I stamped the wrong side of this piece. So look at this. So in the picture, it's got this flat piece at the top to come down. When I stamped my images, I did it the other way. So now we say, okay, well, what do we do about that? Well, I could put it on like this and just run my tape this way, which I think is what I'm going to do. Or you can make the card your own. You can position it down here and run the tape that way. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run it this way. And then I'm going to put my banner there. So see, I didn't quite follow the instructions. It happens to all of us. I'll trim off some of this. So it's always good to cut your pieces down first to make sure you're going to have them lined up properly. So, you know, you goof, you fix it. It's not going to be a horrible thing. Remember, the people getting your cards are not going to know the way they were quote-unquote designed. So I just peeled the backing off this. And then, oh, it's going to have this blemish in the middle. Can I get that off? Get that off. Alright. So, I'm going to open my card up to put this on. And I'm going to stand up. Okay, so I've already nailed that piece down. The instructions say put this down first and then put that on, but remember I stamped mine in the wrong way to start with, so changing it as I go. So now I'm just going to layer this tape over the edge of that piece, and then now I will pick my card up and I can trim off the excess gold tape that I do not need. Now, probably they say to layer it on first because it's so thin that as I overlapped my pieces I can see my seam. That doesn't bother me though, so I'm going to leave it. So there's that. And then I've got adhere the short side of the stamped cardstock to the card base, peel back from tape and adhere the stamped image. Cardstock overlaps it slightly. Adhere other sides of stamped cardstock to card base. Okay, so like I said, it was supposed to go the other way. this way with a little piece on top, but I didn't do it that way because I stamped it the wrong direction. So mine goes like this. So now I'm going to add this flagged banner right over the top. I'm going to use dimensionals to pop mine up. You could snail it on, but I have dimensionals, so why not add a little pop to the card. And then because I had that little blemish on the packaging of my tape, I'm going to layer it right over that so no one's going to know. And I'm going to line my banner up with the right edge of my card. See? And then we've got this beautiful foil lined envelope. Going to coordinate with that. And there's one card. So this is the card I aimed to do, and this is the card we ended up creating. Oh, there's more. We have little sequins we can add. Let's go ahead and do that. So let me open up this bag of sequins. Remember, I do things in odd numbers, 3, 5, 7, 9. So I'm going to do 3 little sequins here. This is where I'm going to come in with the fine tip glue pen though. And yes, you're going to have to let it dry, so don't stuff it in your envelope right away. Okay, so I've got 3 sequins out, boom, boom, boom. And I've got my fine tip glue. Used a lot of this lately, making things for the craft fair. Mine is almost out. Order another one. So I'm going to put these sequins on this big space up here. So I'm just going to add, hopefully, a small drop. If I'm doing 3, I'm going to do a triangle. So I'm going to flip them concave down so they kind of pop up a little bit. You of course can do them the other way. I believe they sparkle no matter which way you do it. And then I'm just going to press that down to the glue so it adheres from below. Okay, so I have to let that sit and dry for a little bit, but that will be one card I can send off. Easy peasy. So it's not exactly the way Stampin' Up! Said to make it. I made it my own, but you can make your own too. So I'm going to call that a day for now. I'll probably end up doing a few more of these cards, and I'll post the videos online, but this will be the Stampin' Chat for today. So I hope maybe you guys take a chance and do the Color Me Happy project kit. The kit, the cards, the pre-cut cards are only going to be available while supplies last. I have not heard how quickly they are being purchased, but if you want to go ahead and get those, that might be a fun stocking stuffer. You know, those little gifts that people say, hey, what can I get you? Or just a little gift, or, you know, Santa might just want to deliver it to your stocking. That wouldn't be a bad little fun project to do after the holidays when you need some of that winding down time. Everything's ready to go for you, and it's really a cute stamp set with the birds and the lanterns and that great big thank you. So I think you get a lot of use out of that, doing fun, you know, greeting cards, thinking of you, thank you cards, so birthday cards, you can get celebrated there. So that might be a fun set to have in your collection to use with your blends. So, of course, contact me if you need to place an order or place it online and use the online host code, which is either in the Show and Tell newsletter or I do have it on my blog at pumpkinhillstampers.com under online offers. And contact me if you have any questions. So, I guess until I see you next week for Stampin' Chat, hopefully I'll see you to stamp in between. Alright ladies, happy stamping!